Cool. Awesome, guys. Welcome. Good morning to everyone. Thank you all for coming in. I know we have Elgin and myself. We have a couple of the others off doing some important events right now. So just want to say welcome. And today, this week, I really wanted to do a little bit more of a mastermind here of what we're doing in our business to get us going. I know we've been focusing a lot with buyers and the buyers' representations and the changes. I want us not to forget, right? The base of our business, a lot of it, I know it's shifting some buyers is listings, and we want to make sure that we're focusing and that we can get our listings. And some of this stuff is going to be how do we do our listings and how can we connect with our sellers and let them know of some of the changes so that our transactions continue to go smooth. So I want to work this a little more interactive. We don't have a main speaker, so we'll call out. I'm looking for anybody who wants to jump in and give in their 2 cents. I know that Sid, you have some amazing things that you're doing up there. I know you have some great listings and you have great referral business. I'm gonna pick on you first. Everybody else can jump in, raise their hand. But what are you doing right now as far as listings and getting things going, and how are you explaining the new changes to them?
Yeah, so obviously, nothing's really changed. It's just the way I view it is just that the forms have changed in all honesty, and just some of the legal stuff. But honestly, in my mind, nothing's really changed. Buyers agents are still getting paid. Listing agents are still getting paid. In all honesty, I'm seeing a shift. We're getting more for our listings, I think, than we did before. We're not fighting as much. If you know how to sell, there is a shakeout in the market. I am seeing a shift. I was going to talk about this is that, so I do open houses, and I'm seeing a big shift right now that buyers are coming in without their agent. And that is newer to me. But when I'm doing open houses, it's pretty much buyers without their agent. And I find that as a listing agent very, very fascinating. Whereas before, we would actually see buyers with their agent if they did come during the open house and or they did a separate showing. So I don't know if anybody's seeing that in your market or in your areas, but I'm just finding that very interesting. And I'm also finding a lot of the buyers do not have representation. And I think buyers may be a little nervous about signing a buyer representation agreement if they haven't built rapport with their agent yet. I don't know what you guys are seeing, but is a shift that we're seeing and kind of our area.
I know I've been seeing the latter that you had mentioned. And I don't want to say a whole lot, but because I don't do open houses myself, personally. But what I am seeing is I am getting calls directly from buyers that have not signed a buyer broker's agreement and are kind of at the point of that they just don't want to. And the ones that I've had dialogue with that do appear to be serious buyers, although they signed one home party with me where I could show them, right? Because I told them I have to have you at least sign this even to show my listing. So if you want to see my listing, you're going to at least have to sign a one party agreement, and go through that with them. But all of them so far, except one, has said that they're just concerned about signing with an agent that they don't know, and they don't want to be locked in to the, they don't want to be locked into somebody and find out they made the wrong choice, and then that whole thing. So that's what I'm hearing. But so I don't sit open houses, so I don't know how effective or not effective, or who's coming in or who's not. But being on the listing side of it, I'm getting that call. I'm getting that call a lot in regards to, can you show us? And if you can't show us, we'll just go on to the next house. It's been actually a pretty, I'm like, okay, well, a couple of times you need to go to the next house. But the majority of them, the majority of them has been 5. So I don't want to make it sound like it's been 100 people, but the majority of them has been 5 people that would sign a single party with me and look at how, and that's what they were preferring to do. They're preferring to still go to listing agents or whomever directly, sign a one party and not feel obligated. I'm sure I think that thinking will change, but that's what I'm seeing today.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's just kind of a benefit that we're seeing of, with these changes, is that since a buyer before, unless they were represented from a buyer's agent who was doing things as maybe they should have, having a buyer's representation agreement and going to the open houses with them, they don't want to be locked in. So rather than me saying, Sid, hey, let's go to this open house, I want to see a bunch of houses, I haven't signed anything with you, so now I can figure out what I want to do. They want to go to see these houses still. So now they're going to go without anybody and they're unrepresented. So now you're going to have somebody walking in without an agent. So that just creates more opportunities for us as well and raises the level of open house as far as lead generation, in my belief. So
Yeah, several on those. When I'm doing that, they also have a house to sell. So I'm
Mhm.
getting a listing agreement on whatever they're needing to sell to buy, for example, a house that I'm doing the open house on. So it does create those opportunities. And I'm just not finding people as worried about the paperwork. I just say it's just paperwork that I have to do. I really don't make it a big deal. I know, like, as agents, psychologically, we're like, oh, you guys, it's just no big deal. Just tell them it's just paperwork, it's just a formality. That we need to take care of. And to be quite honest, we just tell them if you don't like working with us, we'll just rip it up. That's not that big of a deal. We want you to be happy, and we want you to tell your brothers, your sisters, your uncles, and your dogs to use Sid and Rebecca as their preferred agent, and that works totally fine.
That's awesome. Except for you said it wrong. To use Sid, Michael, or Rebecca as your preferred agent. No, and I think, guys, as we all know too, right? When you're going over something, I work with a lot of newer agents, right? And a lot of those agents, when we're coming up and we're trying to explain something, and this is where we all go as agents. This topic, yes, it's a lot in the news, but it's a lot fresher and more on our mind. For there's a lot of changes. A lot of the people we deal with, hey, I want to sell the house. They have no idea what's going on. So when you bring them this paper and you try to tell them, hey, there's been these changes, you're just confusing them rather than just present it. This is what it is. This is how it is. This is how it works. And if we do that, they're going to be like, okay, okay, because you've already built up that trust and they see you as a professional. So that's what's going to flow through. Does anybody else want to jump in on that? I see a couple other people that I always love to hear some good words from. Aria, Claudia, I know you have double off, and I know Leanne, you have some experience working with some of these sellers and going on. Anybody here want to jump in with a little bit of what's going on with them right now, or Elgin?
The only other thing I would say to you, and I'll jump in and jump out real quickly, is just as Steve was saying, is to not make it a big deal, to them. But I would also make sure that you do take the time. You don't have to like oversell it or over confuse anyone, but make sure you at least explain, if nothing else, the basic frames. Because what's gonna happen eventually is you're gonna talk to somebody else. They're going to talk to some other agent, or they're going to listen to the news, or they're going to talk to a friend or something, and someone says, "Oh, you didn't, you did not, you didn't really explain that to me, or my agent didn't really tell me that." So you kind of want to, at least in my opinion, make sure you explain it to them, particularly the sellers a little bit, because if you do a good job on the selling side of it, then you have less problems, in my opinion, on the buyer side, because you've kind of educated the sellers, and that when the offers come in, the sellers are already prepared for the fact that they're probably going to have a concession to pay. And if you do net sheets ahead of time, and what I'm at least doing is I'm doing different price points and different commissions on the net sheets. So I might do 3 or 4 net sheets for them, just so that they know and have something to look at, but what their bottom line will be, whether it's 2%, 2.5%, 3%, whatever it is, if they wind up being asked to participate. So I would just say at least prepare them for it, so it doesn't come up as a shock when the deals come in.
Yes. I think what's huge about that too, Elgin, and it lays in for all of us, is one of our hugest value propositions that we have is our ability to explain to people and make them feel comfortable, right? And we have to realize we're not looking for one transaction, right? Everybody else, one of our clients, they should be multiple transactions. And they're only going to be that if you have that great value proposition for them and you can show them, and that they are going to go over to other people and be able to say, when I came in, I didn't know what was going on. Elgin explained every single thing to me, explained to me the process, so there was no like surprises. And when there was a surprise, he would prepared me through it again, walked me through it, and made it very clear. So that was up front. And when you can explain it to them, then they talk to somebody else, and they're not explaining that to them. That's going to set you above them. And then after the transaction, they're going to be able to say, "Wow, that was a great experience," and then share that with others. So that's also going to lead to more referrals for us, and helping your business grow as we go on. Aria, what are you working on right now? Are you more with buyers? Are you more with sellers with this transition? And kind of how are you focusing your business and working with it?
Great question. Well, I always kind of I don't differentiate in my business between buyers and sellers. In the past, I was more heavier on buyers, and my motto was do a good job, get them on buyer broker, and this is like years ago when the buyer broker was not required. So I was teaching it, I was implementing it, and my motto was do a great job with the buyers, so eventually they become your sellers. And predominantly, I don't do marketing. I should do it. Everything that I do is organic. I open my mouth at the grocery store. I give probably 1,000 cards away, just organically. But one thing that I'm working on, I have a land deal that I try to get in contract. As a matter of fact, I just got a notification that the signs are ready. It's right on Flooring Road. If you're in Sacramento, Flooring Road and El Grove Flooring, right, that intersection where across the street, the homes are being built. So my client has 11.87 acres of industrial reserve. I'm getting call already on it. I'm putting the signs. So I do the land deal. I have a probate sale of help that everything is going well, but they're not budging on reducing the price. We're getting cash offers, but the home needs some work. And by the time that I say I have an offer, it takes them 10 days maybe to respond to me between the attorney and everybody else from the selling side. So it makes it a little bit tougher to navigate to that process. And I have a buyer in Southern California that right now we finalizing the escrow with, even though we had a structure engineer go out and we had some issues with the property. So those are the three things that I try to close. But I talk to all my database because of the interest rates that they're reducing. And I just say, how is it going? What's your interest rate? Oh my God, this is a good time to reduce it. And the funny part is that a lot of people on the selling side, they say, oh, we're thinking about selling, but they're on the defense. There is a lot of people waiting to see what the election would turn out. And I'm just amazed that a lot of people are so in tune with what the economy is doing and their overall plan, they're planning for their retirement. So I think cultivating database is what I'm doing, and I should do more of it. I'm even thinking about at the locations that I'm serving, doing some door hangers, because you're already talking to the neighbors and you get out there, at least you're gonna do some exercise while you're doing it. So that's quite organically what I try to do. And of course, I try to sharpen my skills, put some systems. So when you're working in an open house or organically, when you're working, there's somebody says, I want to buy, what is the process look like? And I have been always a proponent of a buyer consultation. So one of the big things is the reason, the whole buyer representation is not signing a form and work with the buyer exclusively. The idea is to work with them, provide a consultation. And today, more than ever, we always had to do to the buyer, to the sellers, we had to show a value before they sign a listing with us. But now we have to do the same thing. We have to list buyers and we have to demonstrate value. So the question is that what is the value that we're bringing to a given buyer that they're willing to pay $10,000, $15,000, $20,000? And that's the question that we need to ask. Would we pay? Would we hire ourselves? And when I was teaching a class, I said, don't raise your hand, don't answer it. But this is a question for you to answer. And if you say, what do I know? I would hire somebody else to handle my transaction, then go and fill the gap, become proficient. This is a great time to be educated. There is a lot of misinformation. I receive offers on listings that my agents show me or other clients. And of course, I see it on my deals that there is no buyer compensation submitted. And when I say, Susie, do you want to get paid? She said, oh, of course I want to get paid. Is it tricky? I said, well, you need to submit the appropriate compensation form, the PRBS, to make sure that you ask for it. No longer automatically you get paid. And the biggest things that I can say, in the past when I was teaching the buyer broker, I said, why is it that so many people are reluctant to sign it? And today, of course, everybody has to sign it. The difference is no longer we have the protection from the multiple listing service by the cooperation agreement. And that's why we have to do it, but do a consultation with it. That's kind of like my advice that I have.
Perfect.
Back to you,
That's
Michael. I hope that that
Well,
helps
that
to
answer
some
that
extent.
was great. And you brought up something point that I wanted to come in, that we do have rates adjusting, right? Rates have been coming down and everything like that. How are you, anybody here to answer? How are you using the adjustments of the rates, or how are you talking to sellers? Because everybody thinks, usually when I think about rates are coming down, how am I using that? And I'm talking to buyers. Hey, the rates are coming down. It may be a good time. Are you open? Now, when you're talking to your sellers, does anybody have a way that they're using, or something that when they're talking to sellers, a script that you're using, how the rates coming down can be helpful for them, and maybe make sure that it may be a time or a way that they can look at their property and make sure if it's a time for them or not, that it works. Sid, do you have a thing that you use that with that, or how would the rates relate with you?
Yeah, absolutely. I just tell these sellers now is an absolutely awesome opportunity to list your home because there has been a shift in the rates. And what that means is we are getting more buyers coming out of the woodwork that have been on the fence. So right now it's a great opportunity for you because inventory still is rather lean. And so because we're getting a new flux of buyers that did not exist maybe 2 months ago, and that really helps me to win over the listing. And they're like, okay, irregardless of rates, or I'm sorry, irregardless of economy, elections, we're constantly battling that psychologically because it depends on the news cycles. But I
Mhm.
don't even pay attention to that personally, and I just help them understand that actually we got a whole new flux of buyers that are on the market right now. But unless your house is listed, I can't help you.
Perfect. And along with most of our sellers, right? And they sell something, they need someplace to go, or they're going to get someplace to put their money, right? So that's another buyer where you can also relate. Hey, the rates coming down are beneficial to you that way as well. So whenever you're going to use the money, it's going to be better for you that way. Howdy, Frank. Just wanted to say hi.
Morning,
Appreciate your
Michael.
time. So
Good
good deal.
morning.
How about Elgin? I'm going to ask your take on that as well. Do you have an idea on how you deal with the rates, or if you address that really, if it's something that you don't really touch on, because it's just other side.
You know what? I address some of those things, but I address them as they come up. A lot of times you can make a problem by bringing up something.
Right.
And one I actually am doing a video later on today though, because if you guys have noticed, one question that I received over the weekend a couple of times was, "Hey, I thought rates were coming down. How come the rates are back? How come the rates are still high?" And I don't think that a lot of people understand that when the Fed rate and lowering their rate does not mean that mortgage rates automatically come down, and that they don't understand the difference. So I'm actually going to do a short video and send in my database today in regards to what's the basic difference between the Fed rate and actual mortgage rates, and how that and how they correlate. So again, it's just another talking point that I can give out information on, and hopefully not have to have that objection as part of the process with the buyer or seller that I'm working with. But I'll ask you guys something, if you've experienced this, and if you have, what kind of dialogue are you having? I have a couple of listings that I have, I'm finding some of the listings sell really, really quickly, and some of them sit there for a lot longer than even what you were anticipating. It's like you'll have one and it'll sell, and there'll be a bunch of offers maybe, or whatever the case may be, it'll sell. And then you'll have a couple of others there, and they comp well. They comp well, they may be a little bit below comps, it's all that other good stuff. And that particular seller, I'm having a hard time convincing to reduce their price, because they're saying, well, the rates are going to come down. There's going to be more buyers. And right now we're the lowest thing in the neighborhood, or we're the lowest things, there's nothing that's sold. So why should we reduce our price yet? So I mean, obviously I know the normal scripts and dialogues and all that stuff, but is anybody else experiencing that? And, or if not, how do you answer that question?
Well, I think being able to get a jump on it, and you get more eyes on it if you're just a little bit below what you think it's going to sell for. And so that's my strategy usually. And getting the seller to buy onto that. you know, the trust and being able to show your experience.
I think
Thank
for
you.
me, going in when I have that conversation as well as always, this is the list price again. So I would recommend a lot of times, hey, I know that there's some resistance coming, but because we drop it down doesn't mean that we're not going to end back up where we're at. This is what we're doing to get people to see the property. This is what we need, the eyes on the property. And anytime there's a little change in something, there's going to be go out again. It's going to be refreshed to all the people. People are going to notice, hey, there's a little price reduction here. Let's go see what's different, or let's go see what's changed, or let's go see why this property changed. Oh wow, this house is great. So just letting the people know that we have a change, but that doesn't, you're not locked in at any price we set on. And then I know we're here, but like we've explained, if the house sits with no changes and nothing happens, there's going to be more and less interest in it. Any changes is going to re-up the interest. So,
Michael,
I got a couple of them. Yes, sir.
may I introduce someone? I noticed that actually among us, it's a new person that I invited, is new to our team. And the person runs also a property management. I would like to ask some updates on what's happening on the rental property management, if that would be a value added to the team.
Sure.
If that's the case, I can introduce you the person that says Eric's phone. That actually is Eric with Evergreen Property Management, who is the newest member to be of the winner circle, eXp Realty. Eric, update for us.
Yeah.
I actually was texting with him. I said, I want to introduce you if you come out of your cave and show your face, but he's getting ready. But if you can give us some update, this is a mastermind. Of course, we are all realtors and we can benefit from what's going on with the property management. You know, we have investors, they want to buy properties. What are the things that we should avoid? Can you chime in, please? Please.
Yeah, hi guys. How are you guys?
Good.
Yes. Hi Claudia.
Doing great.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that intro, Arya. And I don't want to hijack the meeting or anything. I'm actually here because I have my broker's license, and I'm actually looking for a place to hang my broker's license for any potential buy sell deals. Trying to figure out what to do on that end. But in terms of property management, yeah, there's always changes that happens in the market. I used to be a realtor and loan officer for 7 years before I started property management. So, buying and selling, holding open houses, everything you guys were talking about, it's not really I'm familiar. It's actually very familiar. And sometimes deal come across my lap, so I need a place to hang my license and, kind of ask my broker, so to speak, because I really don't want to be the broker of another brokerage. So, well, all that to say, yeah, well, glad to be here. Property management, I guess, I don't know if you heard about Prop 33. That is something CAR is also urging everybody to vote no on. That would repeal the Contra Costa Housing Act, which limits a lot of rent control. It would allow, the city itself or the county itself to set rent control independent of the state. So, will it be good? Nobody knows. But that's kind of what's on the ballot for the moment. And CAR is urging us to vote no on that. I guess I'll give you guys a little bit of another little tidbit. If an owner has a balcony for a multi-unit property, they need to get it inspected by 2025. There's two bills that pertain to that. Don't quote me on the numbers, but I believe it's SB 732 and SB 368. And the owner needs to get that inspected before 2025. The inspection cost is in the thousands. So a lot of my owners are actually waiting a little bit, see how it goes. The state usually gives some sort of extension, which is not uncommon, but in the law is required to do by 2025. Any elevated structures, so stairwells, balconies, and especially if your property is in an HOA, if they have an HOA and they have a balcony, FHA won't lend on it if you haven't completed that inspection. I've had actually a client trying to sell his property, and the buyers the buyer's loan. It's like, nope, we're not going to lend on this because you haven't completed that. So if you need any more information, let me know. Yeah, thank you for having me here.
Well, Eric, thank
you so much for chiming in. I think we've got to probably maybe invite you back to give us more insight than the property management, the Prop 32, and definitely the balcony is coming up. Certainly, I could ask 10 questions right now, but leave it to Michael because he's running the show. Just want to introduce you and welcome to the team. Certainly, this is a mastermind. We're all learning from each other, and that's why we are doing this. So thanks again. And of course, you met Frank on the background. He's our godfather sitting back there. He's the one that gave us all the strengths with that. Back to you, Michael. Thank you for letting me.
Phone number. Put your phone number in the chat.
And we've got a question from Leanne. Is anybody seen that the condo associations, if they are or are not doing these balcony inspections? Is anybody seeing anything or hearing about that coming through? So something probably to check in when we're talking to these condo associations, or when we have buyers or sellers coming in to get these properties. We want to make sure that.
And Michael, I had a question on a different topic once we're done with this one.
I think nobody has answers, so we can research, maybe bring some of that information back if we know to our next meeting would be great. But then let's move on to you, Sid.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys are seeing this in California. You know, we serve Portland, Oregon metro area, and also, Vancouver, Washington. But in Portland, Oregon, the local multiple listing service is now fining agents if you have a property, a listing, and you withdraw it from the MLS and then relist it within days, it's a strategy agents do to decrease the days on market. They are now fining agents. I think it's $1,500 if you do that. So I don't know if anything like that in your area, but boy, we're seeing that it's just came up, and the multiple lists, they're trying all kinds of ways to get money, but that's a new one to us. And it used to be a good strategy, just pull it off the market and then re-put it back on. And,
don't we have to go 30 days?
I'm sorry?
Don't we have to go 30 days before you put it back on the market for MLS? Anybody?
You withdraw it.
You don't have.
I'm not sure. I think
on our end, on our end, see, what's happening is that if you're putting it back on sooner, let's say you're canceling it after 30 days or whatever days, let's say you had 100 days and now you want to start from zero. If you put it back, you have to have a 30 days gap. If you're doing it, if you don't have the gap, it shows the new date, but let's say day zero, counting, but also gives you the cumulative days. So this way you already know that this is a relisted and there is a history behind it.
Yeah.
So it shows the total days of listing or not.
Okay. Yeah, we had agents around here that were, gaming the system, but anyways, now they're actually finding us if you do it.
Yeah, they were doing it before, and that's where they come with the days on the market and / cumulative days on the market. So this way, then even if somebody's trying to do it, they don't want to find them. Obviously, it's not a violation, right? You can list them, you can remove it. There shouldn't be any violation. It's a free country. There is nothing wrong with it. But of course, what's wrong with it, which is managed by our MLS, is the other agent or the buyer agent should know what's going on with it. So there is a history behind it. And of course, that's what that field is for that reason. But very interesting. We're learning that not all MLSs are the same and not everything managed. So that's actually is good that we have, Sid, you're from Portland, Oregon. Is that correct?
Yes, we serve multiple MLSs, but in the Portland, Oregon and Vancouver, Washington, that's that regional MLS right there. And so that they are finding agents.
That's great. Let me ask you also, everybody, I want to ask something else, because recently I'm getting bombarded via email and phone calls. And when I say recently, for the last couple of months, of organizations that they say there is an unprecedented shift in the market and banks are looking for REO agent. But when I check with Lon Blanquist in our area or other people, the REO and distressed properties are less than 1%, at least in Sacramento, California, to the area that I know. But are you getting these calls? Are you getting this email, the solicitation at all? Or am I the only one that somehow ended up at the list at 2010 and now they still try to make some money out of agents.
I changed
Yeah,
my number.
Just curious.
I get that. I get that all the time. When I get off this meeting, I check my email. There'll be 2 or 3 of them there, and and then I had some REOs. I had an REO account, a couple of them at one point, and I think that I'm on the list because of that as well. So I get them. I even investigated to the point where I went on one of the webinars months back, to see what they did. At the end of the day, they wanted some money. They wanted some money, possibly do some freebie, well, I call them free BPOs for $70 or $80 or whatever it is, and you might get a listing. So for me, it was no thank you. I know there's some other people that like to that feel they can use that to get in, make headway into the market, but not me. If you're gonna go for REOs, you need a different strategy than that, in my opinion. So
How many people here have the relocation certification?
I just relocate. I don't have the certification, but I just relocate. We move people all the time.
So I just want to encourage you. That is a great way to increase your business. We get probably 3 to 5 deals a year from EXP's national relocation. And those are one of the strategies that helped us to get Icon. So I want to really encourage you, get the EXP relocation certification. And they trust me, they will call you. But that's a way to get business, and it's money. It's there. It doesn't cost anything to get it. It's a pretty simple process, but you got to go through the class. And if you want to earn some extra money, get your relocate. And the cool thing is, we've got a national relocation contract, which is totally different than just like in a certain area. And so, for us, that has really, really helped us. And I think we got like a deal in escrow right now that's one of those relos.
Thank you. That's a great idea.
Hey, see, you also got your luxury certification. How is that working out for you?
Getting the luxury certification really helps you when you have a luxury property. It has to be at least $1 million, and it really differentiates you from other luxury agents because of the tools that we provide that sets you completely apart from everybody else. And one of our agents on our team, he won a $2 million listing, and he was competing against 3 other luxury agents. But because he showed the EXP kind of the whole presentation that they have, the client called him back and said, the reason I chose you is because you get it published in all these reputable portals. So it's totally worth it for us. Our market's a little bit different. We do a lot of bread and butter business. So honestly, we don't get as much $1 million plus properties. But with that being said, when we do, we are able to beat out and look just as good as any of the other luxury agents in the area, where clients will choose you.
So
Hey, Michael.
Yes, sir.
I want to give a shout out real quick. Forgive me, folks. Thank you, Michael, for taking over the call. I'm getting ready to go into a doctor's appointment. I'm slumming it here in Calabasas. It's just terrible. So I just wanted to let you know that a couple weeks ago, we had Alex Dyer on and talked about KV Core. And I made a big mistake for 8 years of letting someone else take care of my KV Core account. I learned my lesson. I never got a call, never had anything like that. So I joined Alex's 21-day KV Core challenge, and I'm proud to say that Claudia and Sid from this call are on that challenge. Since Friday night, I've gotten 3 calls for CMA. This is just in the last couple of days. I'm learning KV Core. You guys are far superior technical schools, but let me tell you something. I'm learning it, and I'm excited about it, and I'm going to have Alex back on. And I just wanted to give a shout out to Sid and Claudia for joining me in this KV Core challenge.
Just to be clear, we have not joined yet, but thank you.
Now
Well, maybe that's your wake-up call.
You've been called out. You're going to join them.
I introduced you to him.
Yes, you did, Claudia. You're responsible. So you introduced me, I joined, and you haven't. Okay, what's wrong with this picture?
And then just go back to answer you, Ari, your question. You see that happen all the time. The one thing, obviously, you can look into, the more you're getting reached out to by these people that are selling and trying to introduce you to these programs. Hey, we'll do REOs, or you can get these leads. They got to find you someplace. So either it's a list there, but generally you're getting contacted because your name's getting out there. Whether it's your marketing or whether you're doing transactions, when something happens, your name's going out and somebody's finding this on the list. So consider it a compliment. Look into it. I don't personally like you said see this big change or something happening coming up. So from that point, but just consider it a compliment. Hey, you know what? They're noticing me because I must be doing something or getting my name out there in marketing.
Yes.
Thank you, Michael.
And then, of course, and then like Frank said, KV Core is something huge. There's all the CRMs that are out there, and right, what's the best CRM to use? The one that you're actually using. I don't care if it's a notebook or piece of paper, but we have this tool that's provided to us. Take some time. Take a little bit of time, just like everything. There's too much stuff to try to take it all in and understand in one day, 1 week, 1 month. Take a little bit, work on one subject, and really understand it. Put that into focus. When you start to get some results from that, you're going to need to say, oh, I need to do the next step. But you need to start, and we need to start really going into it and being consistent on it. If you're doing that on your KV Core, like Frank said, since Friday, he's seen results, right? Now, what do you do next? But if you have somebody else running your KV Core, implementing it, or helping out, that's one more way that you're out of touch. Having things on autopilot is nice. Oh, cool. I don't have to worry about it, right? But when you don't worry about it, then something comes up and you're not part of it. And I've been a victim of this, right? Friend calls me up. Oh, I saw your listing, or I saw that you post, or I saw that you did this the other day. It was so great. No, no, no. Can we talk a little bit more about it? What was it again? Let me go back and look at my KV Core, or go back and look and see. So whatever we're doing, right? We want to be involved at least to the degree that we know where we can find it simply. But you know, it can be on autopilot what we're saying, but we need to know what we're sending regularly. So get involved, get into it, get in touch with it. It's going to make it easier. And another thing is when you understand it, right? And obviously being at EXP, we're going to work with other agents, and there's agent attraction that we're going to be working with. So when somebody else comes and joins EXP with us or starts working with us, we're able to share that knowledge with them and make the transition easier and help them get production easier. Even if they're an agent that's already with EXP and we're joining a team, or we want to mentor them, or we want to do something like that, it just makes it easier to get everybody in production and doing things. Because, right, when we're in production, when we have a transaction going, we all feel a little bit better, a little bit more confident and more comfortable. So to be able to handle that, but not have to worry about, oh, what am I doing? And trying to learn this all as we go. So take the time to learn it. Reach out. I know Alex is good. You guys, I'm okay at this stuff. When I watch some of this stuff, I said, oh, I can maybe do some of that. So I always offer this to people. If you need some help with KV Core or anything like that, reach out to me, set up a one-on-one. I will work with you one-on-one, and we can get through some things. Let me know ahead of time what you want to do. And sometimes I don't know, but I'll just do a little research and we'll figure it out, and I can walk it through. We'll make videos and work with you. I want to offer that to you guys as well. So I know I've worked.
Michael, what is your number? I have a question for you. I would reach out. I will be the one that reaching out. I have a specific task that I want to accomplish.
Okay, I'm going to put it in the chat box here.
Thank you.
Of course.
And Michael, it's very giving, so reach out to him. He will reach back.
Yes.
Well,
I can tell. That's why he's our host.
so
Can I throw out another topic there that's related? All right. Who's going to EXPCon?
Oh.
A lot of people are not, Steve. So,
Yes.
okay, let me explain to you why I go to EXPCon.
Yes.
Great way to get your certifications.
Yeah.
Great way to get your certifications. And again, certifications are money. Get your certifications. They offer them all there at the EXPCon. You can take them and get them done and over with. It saves so much time, and you actually get them done. The other thing is, last year I won $1 million listing referral by going to EXPCon. Incredible networking. So again, that's money. That totally pays for it. I can't tell you how much value I get out of that just by meeting other agents. Again, you'll find an agent that, hey, I actually got a listing, and then you win the referral. So I really want to encourage you, go to EXPCon to get your certifications. Plus, that'll keep you fully in the loop on all the different amazing tools that we already have to take advantage of. You could talk to the decision makers there, and they will fix things. In reference to the KV Core, At XPCon last year, I had them fix stuff in my KV core, because I had the vice president of KV core, whoever it was, and he's like, "Oh yeah, just hack, and I'm not very good at it," and he fixed it. So you get a lot of value out of EXPCon. It's totally worth it. Invest in yourself, believe in yourself, but I get my return out of my investment. So I want to encourage you, do it. I know things are, the market's weird right now and everything like that. Everybody's hesitant. Trust me, invest now. So that way, when things blow up, you are totally ready in gear and you're on your stride.
I actually echo that. As we speak right now, I'm not going, or we're not going, but we're good for coming at the last minute sometimes. What I will say though, out of the 6 years that we've been here, I think that we've missed one EXPCon and maybe one of the old, they don't do anymore, the old shareholder meetings. I would really encourage you guys, though, particularly if you've never been. If you've never been, you should definitely go to one of the larger events, because when you go to EXPCon, suddenly you see how big this company is. You hear that there's 90,000 agents. You hear that we're the fastest growing this, the fastest growing that. But to actually walk into an event and there be 5, 7, 8,000 people there with all this EXP stuff, all of a sudden you can see how you are part of something really large. And I will also tell you that this really helped us grow our business, is that if you have the ability to get other agents, either one that are considering EXP, to go to an event, or two, if you have people that you have sponsored that are in your rev share line that maybe have never gone to a larger event, if you can get them to go, man, the energy and synergy and the explosion that you'll get in your business is crazy. I remember the first one we went to and go, we had just joined the company, and Brent said he said about hook or crook, you get anybody to come to the event, and the EXP event, which it did do, was sell itself. And if I remember correctly, and then Michael was one of them that was there. That we had, I don't know if I remember correctly, we had 8 people that were not at EXP yet that showed up, and all of them except one person signed up that we wound up sponsoring. So we walked in with like 6 people. Well, I'll say 5 because Michael was already in. So we walked in our business all of a sudden with 6 people. Well, if you've noticed the way the new model is set up, see, you figure when we started, the model was different on how they were paying out the rev share. See, now you walk in with 5 or 6 people, and you help them produce, and you produce. It's crazy where you start off with your revenue share with just additional income to your business. So I also, since we're talking about that, will throw this out there because I know it is expensive, quote unquote, to go to these events. But I would tell you, you guys lose the excuses if you don't go to the regionals. I mean, we all, that the regionals have, they don't have the same value as far as like Sid is talking about getting your certification, but it's got everything else except they're one day and they're not very expensive. And even if you had to travel to one or more regionals, you could go to 3 or 4 regionals in different areas and meet and talk to different speakers and build different networking opportunities for a lot less expensive than it is if for some reason, either time, finances, whatever it is, you couldn't go to an EXPCon. But there's absolutely to me, there's no excuse not to be able to go to a regional, and it does not have to be your regional. And you do not have to go to one of them. I think all of them are less than $100 to go. So you can go, and you can get a whole lot of value for $100, and it's only one day. But man, it's packed. So Sid's right. Invest in your business, get the synergy, see how large this company is and where it's going, And that's the big picture. That's the big picture.
Yeah, you know what I say? One thing I found at EXPCon, like Elgin, you mentioned about the luxury. If you don't qualify to get your luxury certification at EXPCon, they actually offer a training certification that'll get you certified in EXP luxury. Plus, if you sign up at EXPCon, I don't know, every year is different, but they took $500 off the price of the luxury, which again, it's money, and that totally pays for it. But you need to go there with intention. You need to go there with, I am going to go there and get something out of this. I am going to go there and meet people. When I'm at EXPCon, I work my buns off and I shake my hands with as many people as possible. And it might be, I barge people's tables that are having conversations and I say, hi, my name's Sid Smith. I'm being awkward and I'm being bold, but I want to introduce myself. And I'm in the Portland metro market. Is there any way that I can help you? And I do that morning, noon, and night. And by the end of the show, I'm exhausted, but that's how I get referrals.
Hey, Sid and I are in the same line. We're in the same revenue share line, and we actually physically met and became good friends at an EXPCon. His family and my family. That's how we act. Other than that, we were just names on a revenue share line. We actually met. And then went to classes together. We went out to dinner. Man, all that stuff is so important in your business building. That's why you hear people always say it's a business, not about just going and selling real estate. You're building a business, and when you're building a business, and I forgot who it was. Aria, you had mentioned about the REO thing. The only thing that we didn't get certified in was luxury, but they also have an REO certification. And I have gotten calls via, I should be participating in it more, the follow up, but I have received calls already from that. They haven't panned out yet, but I've received calls from it. So if you're looking to develop REO connections, it's a great opportunity because there are a lot of the REO and asset managers are reaching out to big companies, and that's what we are now. You'll hear people say we're not, but you ask them how many people have 90,000 agents in their organization, and you'll see that we've got a pretty good sized crowd. But that's what they're looking for. These companies are looking for places that they can set referrals in, and that the company has a system set up to be able to connect them with the agent that is good for whatever the need is. So definitely get involved and go to workplace and just do stuff in your business that you should be able to do, and you'll be surprised at the momentum you will build in your business. So anyway, I'm through hijacking the meeting. Michael, it's supposed to be your day.
You're good. Just like you said, I did get my REO and my reload certification at EXPCon, and it was quick and it was fast and it was easy. As compared to 4 months, it was, I think, 3 hours to do each one of them. So it was very nice, very easy, quick, and I walked away with it. So great there. And then to your point, and to Elgin's point, when you go to these things, right, it's not a vacation. We're not just going because then you're just spending money to go hang out and, oh, look, I see all these people, right? What did you spend all that money for? You're going there with a purpose. Introduce yourself, network, find out the information, plan your day. There's a lot of things going on. And if you get stuck saying, should I go to this class or what I want to learn? You're going to miss half of both of them. So have a plan it out what you're going to do. And then just like when we have clients and we meet somebody in an open house or we meet somebody out, or somebody gives us a call, follow up. Right, Sid? How often are you following up with people that you meet, that you introduce yourself to build those referrals? You meet them all, great. I got all this list of people that I just met at EXPCon. Doesn't mean anything unless you're contacting them. You put them in your KV core, or you just put them in your follow-up and you're talking to them weekly, monthly, however you do it, and you're building those relationships still. Okay, awesome. Well, guys, we've come pretty close to the end of the hour. I think everybody, I really want to thank you all for your input. This has been really great. Shelly, do you have one more? I thought you raised your hand. Or no? Okay, awesome. Okay, I'm excited because we have, like Frank said, we're going to get somebody back, Alex back, so we can talk about KV Core again next week. But your participation, guys, has been great. Just keep coming. Bring somebody else here. We want to share, and all of your input is so important. I'd love to learn from each one of you and share whatever I can. It's great. So thank you all. Thank you, Elgin, Sid, Aria, Claudia, everybody here who participated. I really thank you. And thank you, Chris, for always doing such a great job technically for us. So
Thank
all right,
you.
everyone,
Thank you very much. Good to see you all.
great day. All right, you too.